After 13 years, Rockstar have finally shown Grand Theft Auto 6 actually being played. 26 minutes and 49 seconds of it, and there's more in there than anyone's covering, so let's go through all of it. It opens on Jason and Lucia doing a pickup for a man called Boobie Ike, looking for someone named Raymond. They walk into a dark apartment block and get sent up in the lift. There are people sitting out in the hallway, and Jason stops to pet a dog, which gives him positive karma. That's the first thing they chose to show you. Then they go into a room where Raymond is bagging up drugs with his crew. One of his men hands him a phone. It's someone called Ernesto, warning that the police are already on the way. And then the door goes in. Police come through and shoot two of the dealers, with Jason and Lucia standing in the middle of it holding Boobie's package. They have to fight their way out through both sides, and there's a slow motion shotgun recoil shot in there that tells you how much work has gone into the gunplay. On the way out in the lift, they're talking about one of the officers, saying he might have been someone called Mendez. They go out through a window, and that's your title card. Top left there are two bars, health and a second one called focus. Focus appears to be a slow motion ability in the way Deadeye worked in Red Dead. Michael had something similar in 5, but that was one character's special. This is on the main interface for both of them. There's a stamina meter as well, but it only turns up during melee and drains as you throw punches, so it isn't sitting on screen the whole time. Rockstar didn't explain how you build focus or how you spend it, but a slow motion mechanic as a core system rather than a character perk is the biggest change to how Grand Theft Auto plays in a long time. The wanted meter has 6 stars, which hasn't been the case since 4, and underneath the stars there are icons showing which crimes you've actually been caught committing. So the police aren't just tracking how badly you're wanted, they're tracking what for. Nothing's shown had it filled to 6, so what turns up at the top is still being kept back. Switching between Jason and Lucia depends on where they are. Together it's instant, so you can be driving as one and swap straight to the other with no transition. Apart, it takes a few seconds using the same zoom out and back that 5 did. There's a skydive where you jump, open the parachute, and switch mid-air. But the bigger change is what the other one does while you're not controlling them. They shoot alongside you, they help you rob people, they cover you through doorways. That's a long way from 5, where the characters you weren't playing simply weren't there. And in one scene a job comes in that only one of them can take. Lucia accepts it, which suggests that at least some of the time, you're choosing which of them goes. Aiming looks considerably smoother than 5, and there's a dodge in there as well. The best example is near the end, where Lucia gets overpowered in a fight and has to work her way out through a series of timed inputs. It finishes with her putting a stiletto heel through her attacker's face. So melee isn't the button mashing it was, it's something you can lose. The money system is the change nobody's leading with, and it's the one that changes how you play. There are 3 types on screen, a bank balance with a purple icon, cash you're physically carrying, and a third shown as a duffel bag. Cash on you can be lost when you die, so keeping it means depositing it at an ATM machine. And whatever's in the duffel appears to need taking to a fence before it's worth anything, which makes stolen goods their own category with a system behind them that didn't exist in 5. The full rules weren't laid out, but the shape of it turns a robbery into 2 problems instead of 1. There's the job, and then there's what you're carrying, where you take it, and whether you want to be holding it while you've still got heat. The items menu runs 2 tabs with 8 slots, 4 filled at the point it was shown. Visible icons were a mask, a hat, a hanger with a tick, and sunglasses. So there's an outfit system running through a wheel, and you change on the move, rather than add a wardrobe. And it isn't cosmetic. There are missions where Jason and Lucia are in disguises with different identities for particular clients, one of them posing as security at a party. Lucia is shown with a lot of different hairstyles. Bottom left there were 2 more icons, one looking like a medication container and the other possibly a syringe, both showing a quantity of 2 with a heart underneath. That reads as healing being consumables you carry and run out of, rather than a bar that fills itself. Stealing cars has changed. There's a timed input for cracking the window, and it may take more than 1 press, but there's also an option to use a Slim Jim and do it quietly instead, which means how you take a car is now a decision rather than an animation, and karma runs in both directions. Petting a dog gives you positive karma. You can also scold one if that's who you are. And later, Lucia picks up negative karma getting out of a store robbery. So there's a morality system underneath, and it's watching more than just the big moments. There's a whole section that's just the 2 of them at home. Lucia brings clothes back, Jason waits around while she gets ready, picks which beer he wants out of the fridge, sits down and watches television. The adverts on screen include one parodying pharmaceutical advertising and another for a fast food place called Meat Burger, involving deer getting shot. Then they get in a convertible with the roof down and drive out to meet Brian, who they're already late for. The meeting with Brian has a flashback in it, showing the two of them getting caught by police after a heist that went wrong. That looks like the setup for the entire game. Then Raul turns up and it's a getaway job. The camera stays inside the car while Jason leans out and fires at the police behind. Lucia's driving. They duck into an alley and lose them, and Raul gives her a speech about how she could do this professionally. When it's over, they torch the car and get into a van, but the sirens are still going and the wanted meter is still up, which suggests changing vehicle, or changing clothes, is how you actually cool off rather than just driving far enough away. And throughout it, the gameplay slides in and out of cutscene without a break. No loading, no cut to black. That happens repeatedly across the whole video. The thing that comes through most is how much busier Leonida is than San Andreas ever was. Driving to the party, the streets are properly full. Traffic density is a different order to 5, and they showed the city at 3 different times of day. Vice City in the morning, in the evening, and at night, and the lighting is doing an enormous amount of work. The colors are saturated without going cartoonish. Reflections everywhere. The interiors are where it gets ridiculous. Lucia's safe house is flamingo pink from top to bottom, which is about as Vice City as it gets. There's a nightclub sequence where Jason works his way through a genuinely dense crowd, and clubbing looks like it factors into missions rather than being somewhere you can just visit. Random events happen while you're driving, and one of them was a man falling off a bridge while streaming. There's a street fight where the people around it are filming on their phones. There's a live streamer who comes up to Lucia with a full overlay running, chat scrolling down the side, a live indicator with active viewers, then the police turn up and chase them both. NPCs recording what you do is going to matter, especially with karma tracking underneath everything. Jason and Lucia have an actual relationship rather than just a shared story. You can go on dates, you hold hands, they text each other goodnight. Interaction prompts work on a trigger hold with a short list of options, taken almost directly from Red Dead 2, and you can use them on each other. For a game built entirely around 2 people and something together, having that as a mechanic rather than just cutscenes is probably what decides whether the story lands. These are the activities they chose to include: basketball, snorkeling with stingrays, a gym, jet skis, canoeing, dirt biking, skydiving, a target course, street racing, and track racing with a lap counter and timer. A strip club. Around Bayside there are people on electric scooters, a small hovercraft Jason takes into a swamp, and someone visible through binoculars wearing a VR headset in their own house. Lucia robs several stores including a jewelry shop, with Jason waiting outside on a bike. There's also a line of background dialogue where someone mentions checking Lori's Snapmatic. Easy to miss, but it confirms Rockstar aren't scrapping the social media ecosystem from 5 and starting again. Snapmatic survives into Leonida alongside whatever's new. All of that was captured on a base PS5, not a Pro, which is worth sitting with, and it ends on the 19th of November confirmed again. No delay, that's 85 days. Now everything in this video is what Rockstar chose to show you. There's a separate set of details out there tonight from people who've actually sat down and played it, and some of it changes how you read what we just watched. Snapmatic in particular works nothing like you'd expect. I'm going through all of it in the next video. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.